What is up, everybody? This is Matt with the Hardcover Comic, and today we're going to be discussing none other than Uncanny X-Men Volume 4, Chris Claremont, a book that a lot of people have been waiting at least 4 or 5 years for now to come out. And I got to thank, first of all, our sponsor, OrganicPriceBooks.com. A huge shout out to them. They are sponsoring this, and they are also giving this book away. We are doing this as our 10,000 subscriber giveaway, and we couldn't do it without them. So if you haven't checked them out yet, go check out OrganicPriceBooks.com. Use the link that is down here in our description, and you could save $2 on your first purchase. Now, if you've already used the link before and you've already saved those $2, well, guess what? Use them anyway. Use that link down below because we are going to be giving away the DM variant cover as well as part of our 10,000 subscriber giveaway, which we are about 300 subscribers from. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And when we go to do that, how we're giving away the DM variant is for those that can show us that you have purchased something from organicpricebooks.com, just a little screenshot or something, just kind of showing us what, that you purchased something, including pre-orders. That was asked earlier. Pre-orders do count. We're going to enter you in for the drawing, and then we're just going to do a random drawing, and whoever wins, they get it. So you guys have about we're guessing about a month or so before we hit our mark. So if you guys are going to be buying any books in the next month, check out organicpricebooks.com. Send us that. Email it to us at thehardcovercomic@gmail.com, and you guys will be entered for the DM variant giveaway of X-Men Volume 4. Now, if you don't want to wait that long and maybe you just want to buy it, he does have some in stock. Super fast shipping, usually ships it out same day and or next day from your order. So be sure to check it out, organicpricebooks.com. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and dive into the book and see what it's all about. All right, everybody, so here we go. Uncanny X-Men Volume 4, standard cover. This is going to be completely given away for free. We will cover shipping as long as it is in the US. If it is outside of the US and you win, that's fine too. We just ask that you help cover shipping. But other than that, completely free giveaway as part of our 10,000 subscriber giveaway, which we are 300 away from. So the way we've been trending, a few weeks, and this book could be yours. Completely free, because that's how we like to do things. We like to give back, And big shout out to JP once again for hooking it up. So Uncanny X-Men Volume 4, Chris Claremont, John Romita Jr., Al Milgrom, Barry Windsor Smith. Really fantastic art all throughout this thing. I've had my say about JR's art over the years, but this is back when I thought he was just killing it. The late 80s, mid to late 80s. Here is the spine. So again, it looks just like every other X-Men book, volumes 1 through 3. It's going to look identical on your shelf, except for it has the volume 4 and then the different artists and things like that. But overall, they're going to match really well. They look really great on the shelf. I don't have the other 3 to show you, unfortunately. I sold those off a long time ago, back when I bought my house. So, and I just never picked them back up. But they look very uniform on your shelf. They look really, really good. Here is the back of the book. Again, classic Marvel design. It lists all the different covers and things on it. This is going to collect Uncanny X-Men 176 to 193, the X-Men Annual 8, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine 1 through 6, X-Men and Alpha Flight 1 and 2, and Marvel Fanfare number 40. Now, this does retail a cover price at $125 US, but again, go to organicpricebooks.com and you guys can get it a lot cheaper than that. So, and he does ship internationally. What the rates are depends on where you're at. You can find it out at checkout, but he does ship internationally. So again, this is the standard edition cover. We are going to be giving away the direct market cover, which is the one that Uncanny Omar and his group over there at Near Mint Condition, they did a poll with fans a while back about what should be the cover, and that's the cover that they went with. So you guys can... we're going to be giving that one away as well. But that one, for the direct market edition, that variant, you have to buy a book from Organic Price Books. Send us like a screenshot or something of your receipt. We'll get you in for the drawing on that one. Is also part of our 10K. So we're actually giving 2 of these away. This one right here, and then a completely sealed direct market edition as well for those that show that you purchase something through organic price book. So pretty cool there. Again, the spine, once you take the dust jacket off, is the exact same as what is on the spine. And then, of course, just a solid black. It's just your very standard, basic Marvel design. They kept it really classy, in my opinion. And it looks identical, again, to the other volumes out there. Now, I did break in the spine a little bit before opening, so don't think that, like, oh, what is he doing? I've broken in the spine a little bit. And I gotta say, I am super impressed with how well this book lays. It's phenomenal. Really, really well done, actually. So there's your title page. You got Jugs and Colossus going at it here. And then your contents, of course. Or your other title page, and then your contents, sorry, your credits page, and then your contents page here. Kind of go slower for those that want to read that there. And then you also have a nice intro here, written by Chris Claremont. That really goes into the history. You know, you gotta keep in mind, Chris Claremont wrote X-Men for like 17 years. He had an incredible run on X-Men, and it's one that fans to this day will probably still say is the greatest X-Men ever. So if you guys if you guys are watching this video and contemplating on buying X-Men volume, chances are you already have 1 through 3, and or you're trying to pick up 1 through 3. So you probably already know what I'm talking about. No need to dive into that. So the art kicks off with John Romita Jr. for the first handful of issues. And it's really good art. Like I said, this is back when I thought John Romita Jr. was really good, and I really enjoyed his art. And so just kind of flipping through it here, you got the art, I will say too, is very consistent all throughout. Even when it switches artists with Al Milgrom and stuff, you know, it's not a big shock like, oh, what happened here? Obviously it's a new artist. It's a very nice seamless transition, which I really enjoy. It's not a big, you know, crazy shock to the system when you get to those. So again, a lot of people that are maybe newer to collecting Omnis and things like that have maybe never read a Chris Claremont book, yes, they are very wordy, which some people cannot get into, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just for those out there, you know, even if you get the book at $80 or what have you, that's still a good chunk of change. And so you kind of need to know what you're getting yourself into. Chris Claremont is a pretty wordy writer, a lot of exposition. But I will say, you know, normally I recommend to people to always read stuff digital prior to buying physical, just to make sure it's something that you're into and that you really enjoy prior to buying. Just, you know, help save you some money and things. Don't make the same mistakes I've made in the past. But the one thing that I will say, Chris Claremont, for me personally, because I do own every X-Men issue digitally, I have a hard time reading Chris Claremont digitally. For me, it just doesn't connect. But that being said, when I read it physically, when I had the Omnis and I was reading them in that format, the story connected 110%. It was so great, so much fun. The exposition didn't bother me at all. It was really good and really fun. So I enjoy it way more in a physical format than I did digital. So if you are one of those people that does like to test out their books digitally prior to buying, I understand, but keep in mind, mileage may vary when it comes to, you know, Chris Claremont and digital. In my opinion, it reads way better physically. So, but as you can see, really great art, just kind of throughout, and it's really, you know, solid and consistent. Now, as far as the stories in this one, I can't really speak too much about it due to the fact that I haven't read it yet. Because again, as I've said, for me, I have to read this stuff physically. And obviously this book just came out less than a month ago. And so this is really the first time it's been collected physically in this kind of format. Obviously it was in singles and things like that. But so I've never actually had the opportunity to read this. I do know that it is a book that a lot of die-hard X-Men fans have been waiting a very long time for. I want to say volume 3 dropped, God, it was at least 4 or 5 years ago. Because like I said, I sold all mine when we bought our house, and we bought our house 3 years ago. So it was definitely out before that. I mean, at least 4 years so we waited a while for this volume to drop. People are very ecstatic to finally have it. This obviously is not the end of the Chris Claremont run. For those wondering, how many more Omnis are we going to get? Well, I'm assuming Marvel's going to keep printing them. And that being said, he wrote, before taking his big long hiatus from X-Men, he wrote up through issue 279. And this only collects, 195 or something like that. So you still have, basically an extra like 84, 85 issues of Chris Claremont's run that still needs to be collected before he goes on that long hiatus. And then obviously he comes back in the 90s with Jim Lee, and you have, X-Men, volume 1 and volume 2 that were just reprinted with Jim Lee and Chris Claremont. But this Uncanny run, goes through 279. So there's like 84, 85 issues that still need to be collected. So based on, and these aren't very thick either. So I would say there's probably a minimum, and plus there's going to be like the tie-ins and things. I would say at minimum, we're looking at at least another 3 Omnis probably. You'll probably get to volume 7 in order to collect all of the Chris Claremont stuff. Then you go in here and you have another entry here by Chris Claremont. And also kind of all throughout the book, they have this really cool X-mail, which is like the letters, obviously, that people would send in, fans would send in back in the day when they were reading this. And the neat thing about it is, it's not the editors or the writers or anybody that's responding. It's actually the characters that are responding to the fans. So who's writing for the characters, that I don't know, but it's the characters that are responding to the fans, which is pretty cool. So, but going into this, now we're jumping into Al Milgram's art on Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, and as you can see, it's almost like a seamless transition from John Romita Jr.'s art into Al Milgram's. Is it identical? Does it look the exact same? No, not at all. But it's not a huge like shock like what you see on a lot of modern books today, where all of a sudden you'll sometimes even in the same issue you'll have different artists, and you'll go, "What the? Two completely different styles. What is this?" But this is it's just really nice, seamless kind of transition. It's easy on the eyes, still magnificent art. I love the art back in like the 80s, early 90s, 70s. I don't know, there's something about that old school pen and ink that I love. So, but yeah, like I said, if you guys are watching this video, chances are you've already read or you've already owned, volumes 1 through 3. You're not just going to pick up 4. Well, maybe you would, and then you'll go back and pick up the other 3. But, so yeah, and look how well it's laying this whole time too. I forgot to mention that. I mean, even going clear back to the beginning, okay, or maybe not to the beginning, but to the early stages. Professor X shooting some hoops. Well, how can he jump? Who knows? You got to read to find out, right? Look at this. I mean, page 62 and 63, and it's already laying nice and even. It is so incredible, the way that it lays just flat. And like I said, I've only stretched the spine really good, once or so, and it just lays beautifully. Absolutely zero gutter loss, which is another huge awesome thing. Again, it's due to the borders that they create, obviously, but there's zero gutter loss in this book, which is awesome. Granted, back then there also wasn't a lot of like double splash pages and things like that. They kind of kept everything, in their little 9-panel boxes and things, but yeah. So you're not missing out on anything. It lays beautifully right from the get-go. Old school Spider-Man. God, I love that costume. Brings back childhood memories. A lot of Nightcrawler. I love me some Nightcrawler. If you guys are ever looking for an artist, there's an indie guy by the name of Jim O'Reilly, and he draws one of the most incredible Nightcrawlers I've ever seen. Like, I absolutely love this dude's Nightcrawler. Met him at a con a few years back. We became friendly and things, and he's just killer. And he loves drawing Nightcrawler to boot. So if you guys are ever looking for a Nightcrawler, find Jim O'Reilly on Facebook. He's working on another book right now called Mojo Rising. It's another indie title. But yeah, hit up Jim. That dude draws an amazing Nightcrawler. But yeah, as you guys can see, there's some Alpha Flight in there as well. Boom. Alpha Flight. See, this is like the worst of the gutter loss right here. And even that's really nothing. But I mean, that's like as bad as it gets. So yeah, it's really solid. Really well done. I love this art back in here. Craig Hamilton did the art on this one. I'm not super familiar with him, but I absolutely love the detail in the clouds and the swirls and Storm. She just looks so badass. I mean, look at that. It's just so good. But yeah, so anyways, again, you guys, be sure you subscribe to our channel and follow along. You can follow us on Instagram as well. We're going to be doing a lot of announcements in regards to the giveaways and how you can get entered into the giveaways. We're going to be giving away a handful of stuff. We're going to be giving away this. We're going to be giving away the direct market version. We are going to be giving away some epics. We're going to be giving away a custom bind. We're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. So stay tuned to our channel. Thank you again for everyone that's been, following us and checking us out over the years. We greatly appreciate it. We love you all and appreciate all the support and love that you guys have given. And yeah, we'll have another live show here soon, I promise. Just work's been crazy for Mike and I, but soon we'll have another one. So until next time, everybody, thank you for tuning in, and the power is yours.